mock interview, we will focus on instructional practices, classroom management, and professional development learned in educational psychology. Can you please start by introducing yourself?
Yes, I am Katie Humes. I am studying elementary education at UVU. I'm looking forward to teaching like the middle grades, but I will be really okay with any grade. I love hanging out with kids. I have a daughter of my own. I've been married for a few years. I'm 25. And yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Great to get to know you.
Okay, our first question for you, Katie, is how do you incorporate learning theories into your teaching practices, and can you provide an example of how a specific theory has informed your instruction?
Yes, I use scaffolding in teaching to help my students. We use it pretty much every day, and we use different scaffolding practices. I will either show them how to do a problem on the board or help them individually. I also keep in mind their zone of proximal development and how that varies between each of the students. And so I can kind of know what activities or assignments are within that zone, and to make sure it's not too easy or not too hard for my students. I also use operant conditioning in my classroom. I want my students to learn that there are consequences to their actions, whether they be good or bad. And then when direct instruction is needed in the classroom during any of my lessons, I use the theory of behaviorism, and I use the I do, we do, you do model for direct instruction. But otherwise, I like to have my classroom very student-centered and student-focused, with cognitivism or constructivism, so students can explore their own ideas and use their own thinking and learning and problem solving to figure things out.
I really like how you brought Vygotsky's zone of proximal development into your answer. I think you're very student-oriented, and that's going to be great in a future classroom.
Thank you.
Our next question for you is, how do you differentiate instruction to meet the diverse needs of your students?
Kind of like I mentioned before, I use different scaffolding techniques, and that can be varied in between different students, so I can see where students are struggling or maybe excelling and kind of differentiate that scaffolding technique with each of my students. I also will have content available in different forms, whether that's visual or audible, just whatever my students need. And then I also try and decide if it's my content that I need to change, or the process in which I deliver that content, or how my students are going to show what they've learned, like what they're going to produce, or even the learning environment itself, what I need to change about that. So, yeah.
Awesome. I think by adapting your content and the way you provide that content to your students is going to be extremely beneficial to them.
Thank you.
Our last question for you is, how do you encourage critical thinking and problem-solving skills in your students?
Lots of collaboration with other students so they can share their ideas and kind of bounce their ideas off of their peers and their perspectives, and they can kind of build on each other. We also work on self-regulation and problem solving when it comes to a student's emotions and how they're feeling, so they can kind of figure out what they need to do about that. And then I also let them solve their own issues when issues or problems arrive in between students. I try to not get involved. I try to stay as least involved as possible and let students kind of work out their issues between each other. And then I also strive to make my classroom an environment and a place where students feel like they are not afraid to fail and that they can use those problem-solving skills and that critical thinking. They can feel confident in doing that and be, not afraid to fail and keep trying. So
I think that's smart that you allow them to have problem-solving skills like learned on their own, and it gives them real-world experiences, and I think that's a great thing to do as a teacher.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for your time.
Thank you. How am I able to trim this? Because I don't know.